Good afternoon, everybody. This is Eric Foster, co-founder of the Future Today and Tomorrow Super PAC, and I am commenting today on the purported trade agreement that was announced regarding the United States and the European Union. A few things of clarity that unfortunately the traditional mainstream media is not telling you, but I will try to tell you, and I'll try to put it as direct, simple, and clear. One, there is no trade deal. There's no trade agreement. Obviously, what has happened is a verbal agreement to eventually put something in writing that can be formalized as a contractual agreement that can then be sent to the European Union Parliament and to the United States Congress for them to vote on to approve. Until those steps are done, there is no trade deal. There is no trade agreement. It's an agreement to eventually write something down and try to get it approved. That's all it is. And so, people, please speak to this as it actually is, where it's not an agreement, it's not something that is formal. Details don't exist because it's a verbal agreement. So imagine you and your friend decide, all right, every year we're going to go on a vacation and we're going to split the cost. And one year you may pay 60% of the cost and I pay 40, and then the next year we will switch that around. Ultimately, that's what's on the table. Nothing more, nothing less. This is not an agreement. This is a verbal conversation. So that's the first thing. The second thing is in this verbal agreement, Donald Trump, Howard Lutnick, Scott Bessent, and the people around him, Peter Navarro, they are not business smart. They are actually business dumb. And let me explain why. So, once again, a tariff that the United States charges is a tax on the American business that imports products from a company in another country. The other country never pays for the tax that the American company has to pay when the products or parts or goods get to the US border, if you will. So there is no situation where we're getting money off of tariffs that are coming from other countries. The American businesses and the American consumers that buy parts, goods, services from those businesses are paying for those taxes. Now, before this quote unquote trade war, the US was paying basically was the US businesses were basically paying 2.2% tax on all of the products, 610 billion worth of products that they were bringing in from European companies. Now they're going to pay 15% tax. So that's an increase of 12.8%. So where's that 12.8% increase going to go? It's not only going on the back of the American businesses that buy those goods and services, but it's also going to go on the back of you when you go to the grocery store or you go to the electronics store or you go to the fruit stand, etc. Now, here's another thing. What European companies buy from America is not going to have a tax on it. So right now, European companies were paying a 2.7% tax on the products that they bought from American companies. Now it's zero. So think about this. Similar companies in America and in Europe, both competing globally, but the American company has to buy things from Europe that aren't made here. And then separately, the European company has to buy things from America that aren't made in Europe. The European company is not paying any extra tax for bringing those products from the United States. But the American company is paying 15% tax on bringing the products they need from Europe. That's dumb as hell. It's ignorant. Now, the way that it gets communicated to folks is Europe is going to pay the 15%. They're not. Walmart, Ford, Microsoft, companies like that, they're paying the 15%. And then when they sell stuff to you, you're going to pay the 15%. In Europe, similar companies, they're paying zero. So they're not passing on anything to their consumers. So not only are their consumers getting a tax cut of 2.7% and their businesses getting a tax cut of 2.7%, our businesses and consumers are getting a tax increase of 12.8%. So if something costs $100, just to make it a little bit plain, that $100 item that initially would have been $102.20 is now going to be $115 in the US. Over in Europe, that $100 item is going to still be $100. So you're paying $15 more here in America for the things that are coming from Europe. The European person is paying $15 less. And actually, instead of them paying $102.70, now they're paying $100. So they're saving $2.70 while you're paying an extra $12.80. Your MAGA and Trump are stealing your money. They're stealing the money from you if you're a small business owner, if you're a corporation, if you're a mid-sized business, and just a consumer. And this is regardless of your citizenship status. If you're a person in America, citizen, legal resident, undocumented American immigrant, you're paying extra for everything that comes over. Like in another video I did about chocolate, we don't make chocolate. We can't grow chocolate plants, coca plants in America. So we have to buy coca to make chocolate. Chocolate is going up because one of the biggest countries that makes chocolate, Ghana, we're charging the American businesses that buy coca from Ghana 31% tax. So that $100, which before was only a 1% tax, is now 31%. So that $100 product that the American business buys from Ghana and they were paying a $1 tax, now they're paying $31, $131. You're going to pay that extra $30. This is real clear, and I wish that people would speak of it in the actual business reality that it is. And don't try to equivocate and say, right now, we're not in a place where we can equivocate and say, well, some tariffs are okay. We can't do that right now. Maybe if we were in a sane world, we could have a conversation about that. But right now, we're not in Earth 616. We're not in Earth 828. We're not in Earth 838 or Earth 10,005, which is the Deadpool, Wolverine, and possibly the X-Men and one of the Fantastic Four universes. No, we're in the Mephisto universe, whatever that number is. When Doctor Strange and America Chavez were flying through the multiverse, and they went through that one multiverse Earth where it was skeletons and fire and all that stuff. We're in that Earth. So things that would make normal sense in Earth 616 or even in Earth 838 don't make normal sense here. So if we're going to get back to normal sense, we're going to have to wait on conversations like tariffs because right now, all of this is costing every American business more money and every American person, immigrant, non immigrant, or immigrant and citizen, more money, while other countries and the people in those countries are basically getting tax breaks. This is the dumbest thing in the history of, not in the history of dumb things, but it's damn near up there in the history of dumb things of what we're experiencing right now. So please support us at the Super PAC because one of the things that we're trying to do is we're trying to help get information out in clear terms so people can understand they're stealing money from you. They're stealing your house, your car, and your grandparents. Are you okay with this? And in this instance, they're stealing the money that you use to pay for your house and your car and to take your grandparents out to dinner. Come on. Just let's be real with folks and let's put it in those clear terms. Thank you. And once again, visit www.futurepack.today to help us get clear information out so people can make better voting choices in upcoming elections. Thank you and catch you on the other side.